What's going on, guys? I have already done a spoiler-free and a spoiler-filled review for Thunderbolts, but this man wants
I'm
to,
forcing him to talk about it some more.
and I'm totally cool with that because Thunderbolts is a great movie.
Yeah.
I loved it even more on rewatch, which makes me torn as to where I put it now on my multiverse saga rankings on Letterboxd. I currently have it at 6 behind Guardians 3, Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, Wakanda Forever, and Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think I'm gonna move it into the top 3. I don't
I'm
know.
a, for me, this is the second best Marvel movie of this post Endgame
What's the
era.
first? Multiverse of Madness?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Really? Because you know what I did? I stalk your letterbox. You
Oh,
have
I
Guardians
mean, it might be outdated,
you
but
have Guardians 3 ranked below Multiverse of Madness.
well, I think I was just trying to bump up Multiverse of Madness a bit, as far as its rating, because people hate on that movie. I like
Dude,
Multiverse of Madness.
that's why I was like when you said that this was the best Marvel movie in years. I that's why I was like, wow, he thinks it's better than Multiverse of Madness, which
Oh
Multiverse
yeah,
is good. I
this.
like
Oh yeah, Multiverse of Madness is good.
that's
This is
that's the
better.
thing. That's the thing. Okay, so I'll just preface this by saying this. Like, yes, this is a good, really good Marvel movie. And I
Mm-hmm.
said this in my review. If you are somebody who has kind of gotten off the Marvel train with the TV shows and the movies because you don't think the quality has been there, like I finally realized that yes, this isn't as good as it used to be. That doesn't make it bad. But if you are one of those people that has gotten off the train, like go see Thunderbolts because I think it'll get you back on the train. And the thing is when Marvel cooks, even in this multiverse saga, they cook on rewatch. I've liked a lot of these movies more. There's some on rewatch I've liked less. Thor: Love and Thunder, looking at you. Um, some that I kind of go back and forth on, like, oh, I liked that before, I didn't like it so much, like kind of like Eternals. But I think I've mostly like Eternals, that's probably a hot take. Or the Marvels, I kind of gone back and forth on the Marvels. Um, but like I've gone like every single one of these movies, like Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, yeah, that was good, but I didn't think it was like fantastic or anything. Then I saw it again in a bigger theater with better sound. I was like, that was awesome. So the experience sometimes just makes you like the movies more.
For me, I'll preface, so I'll put a little asterisk. Um, Thunderbolts isn't the most fun or entertaining of a lot of these
No,
movies.
I
I
agree.
think Deadpool and Wolverine's more fun. I think Spider-Man No Way Home's more fun. But Thunderbolts to me is much stronger as a story than both those movies because it doesn't ever fall back on look at this thing from
That's the thing.
I'm usually totally cool with fan service, nostalgia stuff, and
Yeah,
I
we're
am.
fans. Service us.
I like both those movies a lot. But it's undeniable that they rely a lot of the enjoyment of those movies comes from look
Yeah,
at these things you grew up with.
yeah,
Look at Toby Maguire. It's like
yeah.
cool,
Look,
and
yeah,
they do a great job with that. Like
yeah,
they folded in the other Peters really well. It helped our Peter's journey,
yeah.
but that doesn't change the fact that No Way Home takes moments for suddenly Willem Dafoe to go, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah,
And it's like,
exactly,
okay,
exactly. Or like all
okay, I get
those
it.
song callbacks in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like it's cool watching him like fight bad guys and kill people
Yeah,
to bye bye bye. But
yeah.
like that was a callback to X-Men 2.
As a film with characters
Yeah.
and things to say, I think Thunderbolts
It's
easily surpasses those
that's
as a
why
movie.
that's why I'm thinking that this is the one that will get people back on the Marvel train because it is the one because there's been instances I think the Marvels is a big what's the word I'm looking for? Um I don't want to say proponent or component but I think victim. I think the Marvels is kind of like the biggest victim of this where it's like they're trying to set up like emotional arcs and then they kind of just don't go anywhere. Like the Marvels, I kind of get it. Like you have that like emotional arc, which I think actually works in the movie with um
I liked the Marvels, but I could barely tell you anything that happened in it.
that's the thing. Um I think the emotional arc with like Carol and is the daughter Maria or Monica?
Monica.
Monica, okay, because I get them mixed up. But yeah. So I think the emotional arc in something like the Marvels is handled well with Carol and Monica. But when it comes to like that whole action scene, I don't know if you remember it since you said you barely remember it. Um, where they're trying to get like the scrolls off the planet because that really shitty villain Darben wants the planet or something. I forget. Um, and it's like no, like, and Carol's like no, we have to get everybody off, or like we can't save everybody or something. And then
Oh yeah, oh
it's
yeah,
moments,
because she failed to save people or
yeah,
something.
it's moments like that that they kind of just have like really started to breeze over a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like Thunderbolts, it's like no, like they actually tackle massive themes of like loneliness, depression,
Mm.
stuff like that, like especially in the second half of the movie, and the characters actually feel like characters.
Well, here's what I think is one of the biggest successes of this movie. You took characters, people when this movie was announced, friends of ours, Dwayne,
Mhm.
um, were very much like, who cares about these people? Why would we have a movie following Ghost, US Agent, Red Guardian, as fun as he was in Black Widow? Like, why? And like
Yeah,
Yelena, like she's fun, but like her and Bucky are, people were like, her and Bucky are the only two that anyone cares about. Who cares about these people? And you leave this movie going, I care about these
I
people.
want more Ghost, man.
You want? I want more John Walker,
I want
which
more.
is like,
I want more Taskmaster, but that's not happening. um,
listen, Taskmaster. We'll get into that, but I think this movie's greatest strength is it took what
the
people were
character dynamic.
criticizing
Yeah,
and it used it to make a good
I
movie,
think, and
which
I
is
think
these people. Nobody should care. These aren't good heroes, technically.
it's not.
Like,
I don't think it's only that too. Like that's that. I think that's definitely the big crux of it. But I think
mhm,
it's also too. People are just like, oh, Ghost. Like we haven't seen her since Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like it's been what? Like that came out 7 years ago. I think that
yeah,
that's. I think that's the thing that people are. I think rightfully so are criticizing Marvel about, where it's like, oh, like you're bringing back characters we haven't seen in ions. Like
that's okay.
when you watch Brave New World, it's like, why are they doing a sequel to a movie
Sure,
that came out like
sure.
17 years
But
ago?
but if Brave New World took those elements and put them into a Hulk movie, I don't think people would be complaining
No, I don't think they would be either.
because I think it's okay. Like when Red Skull showed up in Infinity War, I wasn't like, why the fuck are we doing this now? I was like, no, holy shit, they brought him back.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's do you know how much shit in comic books it's like, oh, we're bringing back this villain that hasn't been in comics since the 1980s. And it's like, what? And it's like, yeah, here's an asterisk.
I
Go
get yeah.
read fucking
I guess
this comic from the 80s.
yeah, I guess so, because it's like that's actually a good counterpoint to that, because everybody's like, where's Shang-Chi and all this madness?
Oh,
We haven't
well,
seen
I
him since
also have that
2021.
complaint.
Yeah, I do too.
Because, I mean, as much as I love them to bring people back after a while, I do think they've dropped the ball on keeping these people in our lives.
Yeah, they have.
Like, Shang-Chi and Moon Knight to me, where the hell are they? Those were two generally well accepted
Wait, you
characters.
didn't have that feeling at the end of this movie when they're all in New York and you're like, "Where's Spider-Man?"
No, and I'll
No, I
get to
know,
that.
I know, I
This
know.
movie does a great job of making that point moot.
Yeah.
Spider Man was off watching Aunt May die a million times. Daredevil was off. I love that joke. What did he see? Nothing. He heard something terrible. He heard something awful.
That's the thing too. Like with this movie, like yeah, sure, like the humor's been criticized a lot with Marvel.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like
this movie does a pretty dang good balance, I thought.
I will make the argument it's more drama than humor.
Oh yeah, it's got funny
Yeah,
moments. Like there's fun stuff,
yeah. Like
but
but it's not like the funny stuff in this though isn't stuff where it's like eye rolling. It's not like the
no,
screaming goats in Thor: Love and
no,
Thunder. You know.
no, no.
Yeah.
This isn't a Taika
Or
movie. No.
it's not like they're fighting and then all of a sudden like they'll just stop and be like, crack a joke. and then
Yeah,
start fighting
no.
again. You know,
No, like, they do a good job
like
of
it feels like the Ghostbusters humor where it feels naturally woven in and a bit
yes, yes,
subtle,
like, it comes
gently
from the
massaged in.
characters.
Yeah,
It comes from, "Let's shit on John Walker a little bit
and
because of
that's the
course
thing.
we would."
I'm like when you're put in a situation with with people that you are essentially supposed to kill, like
Yes,
like Yelena or Yelena. I keep calling her Yelena.
Yelena,
I think they call her Yelena. It's only
yeah.
because my brother knows somebody that's named Yelena. So, well, it's like yeah, Yelena is sent to what's her name? Defontaine's vault.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Dude, she's a waste. I'm sorry. But
How
this movie
dare you?
actually
How
made me hate her
dare you?
more than her previous appearances.
Val is all has always been fun. She's always
Listen,
been
she had no business being in Wakanda forever.
no, I agree with that. But at the same time, in a phase of Marvel where they've done a terrible job at establishing an overarching arc,
She hasn't.
she's been the only thing gluing something together
Yeah,
over multiple movies
yeah,
besides multiverse maybe. It's been she's doing something weird recruiting people. Like that's like the only
yeah,
thing. And I'm
yeah.
like they've done a not a great job of it, but she's been consistently doing something in the background. I'm like, hey, I can follow this story arc.
But
I
getting
don't
back,
know how Kang relates to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but like, okay.
yeah. But getting back to my point, so it's like okay, like so Yelena has to go into DeFontaine's vault in what is it, Malaysia or something. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
she's sent there to kill Ghost. Ghost is sent there to kill Taskmaster. Taskmaster sent there to kill John Walker, or he's sent there to kill Taskmaster. Whatever it may be, it's like,
No,
yeah.
no, no. I kill the bus driver.
um, and I mean, honestly, that's kind of what I thought of when
Yeah.
they were all talking. But it's like, yeah, but it's like when you're put in a situation where characters are like, yeah, we're supposed to kill them, but then we have to team up. Like we're supposed to kill each other. And we got to team up and like get out of this. Like, of course they're gonna crack jokes. Of course they're gonna make fun of each other. Like,
Of course.
but like you would do that in real life anyway. If you're teamed up with people you
Yeah.
don't like and
Yeah.
you're
It's
forced to,
natural.
yeah,
And what I liked was the movie, like I said, it's very meta in the way these are supposed to be throwaway characters.
yeah.
These are supposed to be
This is
rip off.
Marvel Suicide Squad.
No, I disagree. People keep saying that. This is
I know.
not the Suicide
I know,
Squad.
I know.
This is like this is
I just
Guardians
use
of the
that
Galaxy.
analogy to, you know,
Yeah, this is Guardians.
yeah,
This is we have a group of who knows these people? Who gives a shit about these people? And then they become a family by the end. And
yeah.
it's like uh you're like we have discount Captain America that nobody
Which they
likes.
say, yeah,
Like that the whole point of his characters you're not supposed to like him. You
yeah,
got the villain from Ant-Man 2, a movie nobody remembers.
yeah,
I'm sorry. No, I don't. Like I forgot that Ghost was like experimented on her whole life. Completely forgot. You got Yelena, who's from a movie that a lot of people didn't see because of all sorts of drama with Black Widow.
yeah.
You got Red Guardian, you know,
He was
people
probably
like
the
him.
most popular character in that movie.
Again, he's from Black Widow, which isn't the most high regarded Marvel movie.
Right.
You know, I think it's pretty good overall. But
I do too. I think it's solid.
and then you had Bucky, who
Yeah.
people are like, yeah, I like Bucky. Like, you know, it's like they saw the trailer, like, oh, cool, Bucky.
They only like Bucky when he's got the hair.
Bucky's the best always, man. Hair or
They didn't
not.
like him in Falcon and Winter Soldier when his head was shaved, essentially.
Listen, it wasn't shaved. He had a short haircut. That's all. He was trying to move on with his life.
Speaking of Bald Sebastian Stan, when they were pulling off the like when Florence Pugh was like pulling off the thing on the poster to reveal the new Avengers,
Yeah.
I love his reaction to where he's like,
Sebastian's just having a good time,
yeah,
man.
dude, like I hate how people criticize him too for like because they're like, oh, he just makes Marvel movies. I'm like, yeah, but has it ever occurred to you that maybe he likes doing this?
Okay, okay. They're gonna say that the guy who was just nominated for an Oscar is only making Marvel movies.
Yeah,
Like he had two movies that were in the reward season. He had that one with the what's his name, the Beautiful Man or whatever,
yeah, different man.
different man, and the Trump movie.
Yeah.
both were in talks of all sorts of awards.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Sebastian Stan is just successful. It's not he doesn't just do Marvel movies. He just keeps doing Marvel
And,
movies because he's getting
and
paid.
even if he just did Marvel movies, it's like, does anybody ever did it ever occur to anybody that maybe he just likes it?
Yeah, you get to do cool stunts. You get to be a superhero. You
Yeah.
get to get paid millions of dollars to do it.
Speaking of the stunts, especially in this movie, because I think for a lot of people that were probably like, what the hell is this movie? Like, is this going to be another Marvel dud? Is this going to be like Eternals or Brave New World or something that's not going to be that good or another Love and Thunder? I think people will actually be amazed at the cinematography in this movie because it actually looks like a movie. Like
No, it's mostly
Florence Pugh jumping,
practical.
Florence Pugh doing the jump at the beginning, like that stunt, practical. They filmed it
Yep,
on location. They
yep.
filmed a lot of this on location,
They
like that
filmed the desert chase on
desert
location.
chase. Yep,
Yep.
on location. I'm pretty sure the vault was probably, but that's the thing.
Oh, that
Like
was a set. Yeah, that's
it was a
fine.
set,
Yeah.
but it's like as opposed to something like the Marvels, where it's like the
Or
visuals look like
Quantumania.
yeah. Oh, Quantumania, dude. Quantumania. Quantumania sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the thing. The visuals have really stuck out like a sore thumb in a Marvel movie where it's like when they're in the vault, it's
Yeah,
obvious like it's
it's a
probably
set.
it's a set. But you
That's
can't
fine.
tell.
Movies
You
have
can't tell.
sets.
It's not like it's not like the previous ones where it's like it sticks out like a sore thumb. You can't really
No,
tell.
no, because movies.
I mean, towards the
People
end when
people
they're
go
in New
so
York,
extreme with
I
that.
mean, you could. I mean, in the end when they're in New York, you could tell that was a set because it was just
Oh,
one city block. Of,
sure, but like that's all it
but
needed to
still, at
be.
the same time,
Yeah, it wasn't a bad, but it didn't like. I never sat there and went, "Oh, that looks fake as hell." You
yeah.
know, it's like no,
Whereas
it's just
I've kind of had that feel like obvious. Like I'm not gonna say that about when Captain America fights Red Hulk. Like that's supposed to look fake.
oh, sure. I
Yeah,
mean, sure.
or like something like the Tiamat. But like when he's like fighting people and it's like in the beginning of that movie and
Yeah.
it looks choppy and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
that looks fake. Like
No,
I'll say
this
that.
movie looked good.
Yeah, it did.
Thunderbolts looked good, and it had a tone that fit the theme of the movie.
It did.
It's darker. It's a lot of shadows. It's
I
it's
think I think
good.
I've always thought that Eternals kind of like I don't want to say captured, but was like trying to eclipse like a darker tone. Like
Yeah,
Eternals is definitely the one that did Marvel different, the most different, I think.
yeah. It looks
Um,
the most visually different for sure.
yeah, and that's fine, and I think I think that's why Eternals is very divisive. I
I
like it.
think it just should have been a series.
I think it should have been
There's
too.
too
Honestly,
much story for one movie.
I do.
I'm sorry.
I think that too, but I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
Um, but it's like, where was I going with this? What was my train of thought?
visuals of the
Yeah,
Eternal.
yeah. So it's like when you look at something like that, forgot. I don't know. Oh,
But
it'll come back
I
eventually.
think the strongest thing about the Thunderbolts is the thing that people were most worried about
Yeah.
when
Okay.
they saw the lineup.
I know what I was. So
Yeah,
like, yeah, because I was saying like, oh, Eternals is kind of like at that point, like kind of like a bit darker. From I mean, they've obviously gone darker with like Infinity War, like Gamora gets thrown off a cliff.
sure.
So, but like, I think Eternals kind of it had that darker tone, but it felt more like half and half with like the lighter tone and the darker tone. It didn't really know, I don't think, how to mesh it all that well. Whereas Thunderbolts is like, okay, we're gonna have some of the humor, but most of this movie is gonna be dark shit. Like
Mm.
it's gonna be stuff that's gonna make you emotional. Like I remember almost tearing up at like probably two
Oh,
or three scenes.
I
Like
teared
the
up.
first time I saw it.
Casey cried.
Yeah.
My friends, some of my friends cried. Like
Yeah.
it's, and that's what it comes back to. The first thing we saw about this movie was that concept lineup of who the roster would be.
Yeah.
And everyone went, "What the shit is this shit? What is this team? What is this? Why are they all have the same powers? Why are they all super soldiers? Who cares about them? What a ridiculous team." And I was sitting there going, "No, no, no, you're missing what's there. Look
Yeah.
at all the characters. They
The
all
regions.
share trauma. They all share crazy backstories. They're going to bounce off each other in interesting ways because they're all like
Which they
each
do.
Yes, and people ignored that. They were like, "Oh, they should have Abomination on there. They should have Red Hulk. The Baron Zemo should be there." And it's like, look at the characters that are there. Literally, Bucky has been through so much trauma. Yelena's been through similar trauma.
Yeah.
Red Guardian and John Walker are both knockoff Captain Americas. There's all this interesting things between these characters, and people ignored. They were like, "This is just
Yeah.
ridiculous," and I'm like, "You're missing it." And I've believed in this movie for like
And
3 years.
and people
I
are
was like,
people are
"This is gonna be good."
and people are just like people just don't remember anything from the past movies because at one point in this movie, when Yelena goes into the void at the end, and even parts or even before that, because like you have Bob when he touches her, like you can see her trauma. Which, by the way, the Red Room, the like 30 seconds to 1 minute of Red Room stuff in this movie is way better than it was in Black Widow. I'm sorry, that's what I want
Maybe.
to see in Black Widow. I didn't want to see fucking dry cough. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot you like have this grudge
Yeah,
against
yeah,
Dreykov.
that's not what I
You
wanted.
said
I
Dreykov's
wanted,
worse
I
than
wanted,
Malekith.
I wanted, I
Get out
wanted,
of here.
I wanted this shit in the brief glimpses we got of the Red Room in Age of Ultron in a Black Widow movie.
No, no, Black Widow. Black Widow handled the Red Room, maybe not the end stuff, but that montage at the beginning of the movie
That was
is
good.
amazing.
That was the
That's
credit
some
scene.
good shit.
Credit scene? Are you talking about?
That the montage in Black Widow during the opening credits that
Yeah, yeah,
shows them get
yeah,
inducted.
yeah.
That
That's
was
good.
good.
Yeah, that was
That
good
was
stuff. I
good.
was like, yeah, where was that for the rest of the movie? But anyways, Black Widow's still good. I still think it's a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's bad.
Mm-hmm. You just
Don't
hate Dreykov and think he's worse than
he's bad.
Malekith, which
No,
is
he
a,
is.
what?
No, you know who? You know who's worse than Malekith? The villain in the Marvels.
Oh, no, she's not worse than Malekith because her motivations at least make sense. Malekith went, "You killed my people. I'm going to cast you in darkness, and I am speaking about the ether in every scene."
And I'm
He's
just
a
gonna pass
terrible
all
villain.
my duties off to Curse.
The biggest thing, a biggest mistake a villain could be is not only not intimidating, but boring as shit. And that was Malekith. Every scene was the same thing. He's speaking in a made up language. That's my rant about Malekith. Because this movie, you could argue, Thunderbolts doesn't really have a villain. I would argue it's Val, but
That's what I was gonna say. I would say it's
um, but it's not in the traditional sense of we got to go punch someone really
yeah.
hard.
That's what I would say. Like I would say it's Val. I wouldn't say it's Sentry.
Hell no.
No, no, it's definitely
Hell
Val
no.
because she's the one pulling the strings.
Sentry's a victim.
Yeah,
Bob is a victim. I
Bob.
love Bob.
He's awesome.
Bob is one of the best characters Marvel's had done in a while.
He's so mad.
Bob is. I've seen the internet react to him, and just the way he's touched so many people already makes me happy because as someone that's read every single appearance of the Sentry in the comics, thanks to Marvel Unlimited,
Mhm.
um, they did a good job overall capturing that character.
Yeah.
Um, in a way, most people, again, were criticizing the movie before it came out. How are the Thunderbolts supposed to beat Sentry? He's got the powers
And
of
then like and now
Superman.
that and now it's now
I'm
it's
like, mentally, of course.
now that it's released. So like going back to what I was saying before I went on that whole Red Room tangent. Um, so it's like yeah, so like he like when he touches you, or if he does the whole shadow void thing, like and you step into you become a shadow essentially, or you step into the void. You see your past trauma. So
Yeah.
the 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 complaint I've seen from people that have seen Thunderbolts is it's like, oh well, he touches Yelena, you see her past trauma, and he touches John Walker, and you see his past trauma. It's like, but where's the trauma for Ghost? Where's the trauma for
Oh,
Bucky? I'm like,
no,
okay, for Bucky, did you not watch The Winter Soldier? Did you not
no,
watch
I
Civil War?
kind of agree, though. I kind of agree. That's one of my criticisms is not so much that I want to see something again.
Yeah.
I think there was an opportunity to make the last part of the movie feel even more like a team movie, which they were doing, which is you kind of want to see them, even if it's only glimpses of it. you kind of wanna see what they went through to get to Bob.
Do you think each room that they went through in the void should have been like each of their trauma?
Maybe, like, there could have been some way to kinda quickly show us, like, I would have loved to have seen what Alexi's would have been.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing.
what
Yeah.
was it the day he got his stripped away from being Red Guardian and thrown in prison? Was it the day he gave up the kids? Was it the day, where's Melania or whatever? Did something happen to her that we didn't see? Like, that's made him depressed sitting at home? Like, I think there's a chance that's one of my only criticisms of the movie is I love that it was centered on Yelena and Bob, but you could have had a few more emotional beats.
Mhm.
You had one with John. You
Yeah.
could have had one later that even furthered that. Like, what if his biggest thing was the day he cut off the dude's head with the shield?
Which they
Because
kind
that
of
was the day his life changed forever.
yeah, which they kind of address, but
They kind of, but like,
yeah.
I think you could have hit even harder. I think you could
But
like Bucky's yeah, we've seen a lot of Bucky trauma and he's gotten through that, but to actually see the effort that they went through to get to Bob, I
yeah.
think was important because
But
they show up and they're like, I had a bad life. It was great. Like it was like funny, but like
yeah.
I think them running to hug Bob would have been even more if you knew Bucky just relived like fucking a horrible murder. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, exactly.
I just think
But
that's one of my only criticisms.
I do think that that stuff is handled, as I was saying before, like, better than the attempts in some more recent movies that try and do the
Oh,
emotion.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
like,
Um,
a lot.
uh, in general, I just think they did a great job with the characters.
Mhm. It's
Um,
definitely I've seen people complaining, "It's a character drama, there's not a lot of action." I'm like, you don't need action to be good."
well, the complaint that I hate, that I see from people that don't know shit about shit, is that they go, "Oh, this is they beat the villain with a hug. Oh, it's talk no jutsu like in Naruto where he just talks down the main bad guy." I
So
go,
what?
how the hell else do you beat the void? I'll tell you
Yeah,
how. You don't. Read any Century comic ever. The only way to beat the void without killing Bob is to get Bob's head right
yeah,
because he controls the void. The whole point of the character is he's insurmountable physically.
yeah,
It's emotionally and mentally. That's how Void's beaten. You get Bob's head straight. Like
yeah.
that's what you do. The only other way is you kill the whole thing. Like you kill Bob, and that gets
I
rid
don't
of the
even think you
void.
could do that, though.
You can.
You can
He's
you
died
can?
before. He always comes back, but he has been killed before by very
Wow,
powerful characters.
wow.
Um, but it's just people, and that's the thing too. If they had beaten Sentry physically, those same people would have been like, "This is ridiculous. These super soldiers can't beat the
Exactly.
Sentry.
Yeah, there's no winning with these
There's
people.
no fucking winning." And I'm like, and the whole point of the movie is that yes, depression is hanging over these people, and they beat it. They
But now they feel like, okay, they're not alone anymore. Like, there's yeah,
exactly. These characters were all isolated and alone and traumatized, and it's like now they physically came together mentally, emotionally, and they saved the fucking world. Like
yeah,
I think that's a powerful story. But
isn't it?
people are like, "Oh, I want to see you punch the Sentry in the face and win."
That's the thing. I'm like, if I was like 14, I'd probably say that.
Yeah,
Because you
well,
know me
that's
back. You remember me back in the day,
yeah.
right?
I've
Yeah,
just been annoyed at like that's been a complaint people have had since the movie, since the rumors that Sentry was going to be in it started. They
yeah,
were like, "How? That's so stupid. There's no way they could beat this." And I've been saying for fucking like a year or whatever, they're gonna beat him by healing his mental trauma because that's what he deals with in the comics. That's what literally all these characters deal with.
yeah.
Like, of course, it's gonna be an emotional like, but people are like, I'm telling you, man, if Bucky Barnes had somehow punched Sentry in the nuts and beaten him, people would rightfully be like what the fuck?
Which, I mean, I don't know why they're complaining because they have that whole fight scene in Avengers Tower, which is now Watchtower, where they
Yes.
can't even beat them.
Yes, it's the makers of the movie made sure you knew they're not winning physically.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what would happen in the comics, dude. If these characters tried to fight Sentry, they would die.
Yeah.
They would
Exactly.
die. The dude fights the Hulk and he fights Thor, and he's probably the most powerful character in the MCU.
Who kills
Wanda
him in the
fans,
comic?
come at me, Wanda fans. All right, I love Wanda,
Who?
and she can warp reality and shit, but she can't take a bullet to the face. All
No.
right,
Who kills Sentry in the comics?
Thor does during Siege,
Oh,
but
I was thinking maybe it would be Thanos.
it takes a lot of shit to kill him. They drop a helicarrier on his ass, and then
Jeez.
he gets transformed back into Bob. And
Damn.
when he's just Bob, Thor kills him.
Wow.
But he also gets killed by Null in recent comics, but that was stupid.
Uh,
That shouldn't have happened.
I'm getting Venom 3 PTSD.
It's stupid. But
Yeah.
the thing I love is they handled Bob so well. I
That's what
loved
I
all.
thought. I always like I get it. Like it's supposed to be a team movie, and it's like, yeah, like people. I think the concern was is that is it going to feel more like a Black Widow sequel because you have I keep calling her Yelena, and like Alexi. Like, are they going
Taskmaster,
to for 30 seconds? Which
dude,
is the worst kept secret ever.
dude. I know. Like, I think why I'm not. There are some people. I have a friend who really wanted them to do more with Taskmaster in
I think
general,
that's my complaint with it too. Yeah,
but I'm of two minds of it because
that wasn't Taskmaster from the
well,
comic.
they could have turned her into like more like the comics over
Yeah,
time. She could
yeah,
have developed a personality and talked and joked, but
yeah.
that character to begin with was so far removed from what Taskmaster is.
In the comics.
Like, it's like Casey compared it to Deadpool in
Yeah,
Wolverine. They essentially did the Deadpool Wolverine thing where they took away everything that makes Taskmaster Taskmaster
yeah.
and they like turn him into a weapon. And it's or turn her into a weapon. And I'm like, yeah, we could have gone from that to like her developing a person. Like there was opportunity to do that. Am I super sad that Taskmaster died? No.
I'm not either.
Like I mean,
Well, I
like
just thought it was hilarious that they gave you the obligatory like face shot of Olga Kurylenko, and then they gave her the obligatory line of dialogue, and then
mm,
boom, ganked.
yeah. I guess my only issue with it is if they were gonna do it this way, they should have just not had her. Like
Well, did you read up? Like I don't know if you've read any articles. Like she was supposed to be in it a lot more. I
oh
guess.
yeah, yeah, she had like arcs with John Walker and
Yeah,
Ghosts and stuff,
yeah.
which would have been interesting. And maybe you could have killed Ghost later in the movie in that case. Um, I think the only thing I would have been if I was making this choice to kill her right away,
Hmm.
I think I would have made sure that the effect of that affected Yelena more.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, I think that's one of my problems with like for a movie that deals so much with like depression and trauma and all that.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't really affect anybody. Like,
Oh, the Taskmaster death.
yeah,
No, like she mentions it again and was like, but I
yeah,
think
and then it's like Ghost kills her, and then it's just like, oh, like you see the bullet hole in her head, and then like I mean, I think there's a look from Yelena, but
yeah.
like, and then they mention it like later in that scene too. I
Well,
think,
yeah, she
but
says that,
I think
she
that's
lived a dangerous life and she died or
I
something.
think that's the only thing that they breezed over in terms of like an emotional arc. You know,
Yeah, I mean, they could have touched on it
I think
more.
I think that was I think for a movie that deals with so many emotions like depression and trauma and all that, I
Mm.
think that was the one moment that I don't think that they hit, and I think that that was one of my issues with the movie
Um,
right there. I think
for
that
me,
there should have been more of an acknowledgement of Taskmaster dying. I think.
I think it should have only been like Yelena recognizing that this
Yeah,
person was similar to me,
yeah.
and she died so like nothing,
That's why I was
nothing.
kind of like because I when I first saw it, I was kind of expecting like a gut reaction from Yelena
Yeah, I see.
against Ghost.
I didn't think that she needed a super emotional react because
No, but
Taskmaster didn't really mean anything to Yelena. She meant
right,
something to Natasha
yeah, that's
because
true.
Natasha failed the she
That's
bombed
true.
the kid.
Yeah,
Like,
but I just thought maybe like the gut reaction would come because like oh like she meant something more to Natasha, and Natasha was like essentially like her adoptive sister, you know?
sure. Well,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's kind of I guess that's kind of my disconnect with it.
I would have loved the Yelena to just kind of realize, like, oh, she was similar to me. She was raised in similar circumstances, and then she got discarded and killed, and nobody cares. Like, is that what's going to happen to me? You know,
Yeah,
if there was more of an acknowledgement of that, of like, well, would anyone care? Because
yeah,
she did tell John and Ghost when they were raiding looting Taskmaster's body.
mhm,
Yelena was like, show some respect. Like,
yeah,
you're so disrespectful to the dead. Like, there was a little bit of something.
yeah.
But do I think Taskmaster should have been on all the marketing? No.
Well, I just think it's funny that in all the
No.
marketing, she's like thrown to the back. Like if you look at
Yeah.
the poster, like she's barely on the.
I
Like I
just
feel like
like
half
I'm
her
like,
face is cut off on the
listen,
poster.
you could have done something else with her. She could have been in the movie
Did you
more.
notice? Did you notice in the credits too? She gets third billing.
I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. It goes Florence
Uh,
Pugh, and I think
Sebastian Stan
Sebastian
was
Stan, and then
second.
Olga
Yeah.
Kurylenko is third. I'm
That's
like for
funny.
30 seconds.
That's funny. Damn.
Yeah,
Um, no, I get the reaction, but the funny thing is too, the same people that hated Taskmaster and Black Widow are making such a stink about Taskmaster dying.
see, I like. I'm somebody. See, you know me. I don't read the comics, so it's like the movies are kind of my knowledge of the
Sure.
character.
Yeah, this Taskmaster's nothing like that in the comics.
Okay, yeah. So it's like,
Taskmaster,
so it's
I
like,
don't care. It's a gender swap. I'm cool with
oh
it.
yeah, I'm cool with that too.
I'm cool with Tony becoming Antonia. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
What I'm not cool with is that Taskmaster is supposed to be this foul mouthed piece of shit that makes jokes and screams at people across golf courses. And in the movie, it's just discount Winter Soldier.
yeah,
Like it's just I'm brainwashed and I am fighting with all these moves. And also Taskmaster in the comics just has photographic memory so well that he can mimic whatever he sees.
right.
Whereas in the movie, it's like we got a mask and a chip in the back of your head that makes it possible. Like,
Remember how much outrage there was when it was like, we think Taskmaster's a girl in that movie.
yeah, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
I
who
didn't care
cares?
about
Yeah,
that. Like, I'm like, although now I see that actor from Black Widow that played that one character with the plane is like, I was originally going to be Taskmaster in that movie. I'm
yeah, yeah.
like okay,
Who cares? But that's kind of my thing. It's like for somebody like me who's not well versed in the comics and doesn't know like the whole Taskmaster back thing. It's like, yeah, like I thought it was like okay in Black Widow, but
yeah,
and
I
that's
think it's
why
fine for what it is in the
yeah,
movie.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine for what it is, and
It
like,
isn't
but
Taskmaster.
I think that the little acknowledgement of her death and the disconnect I had with Taskmaster in this, I think that that's why because maybe I expected a little bit more from Taskmaster, even though like it was a foregone conclusion. We all guessed it
Oh
that she
yeah,
was gonna die.
that marketing gave up real
Yeah,
quick.
that she was gonna die. But
She
like
was
I thought that there,
super dead.
I guess I just thought that there would be more of an acknowledgement of it. I guess that
Sure.
that's my disconnect with it and the
Yeah.
problem I had with it. But whatever. She's a big whatever. Yeah,
I still don't
it's still
I
just
still don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's still just funny that it's like she like the marketing is like yeah she's in that one scene and then you don't see her in any other scene in the trailer or anything. So it's
No,
like
yeah, that's what I knew. I knew because
yeah,
every
yeah,
shot of
yeah.
her
That's
was
that's
from
what
that.
everybody knew it,
Yeah.
and then like they're trying to play it off as it was like
Well,
some
they
secret
they
or
they made
something.
that fake shot where she's like in the back of a group shot,
Yeah,
and I was like,
but they
she
did
ain't
that.
in it.
They did that with another movie too, didn't they?
Oh, they do that shit all the time. You know, they
Yeah,
do the But my only other complaint, as far as the logic of this movie, they didn't explain well enough why the hell is Bucky a congressman? You know, because like, is it because he was spying on Valentina or wanting to stop her like legally?
yeah.
I guess, but like after Brave New World, where they were like, he's running for Congress. I'm like, oh, I hope they explain that in Thunderbolts. They don't explain it.
No, they
I
don't.
don't know why he's doing this. He doesn't talk about, but like, it's an interesting position to put him in. I'm
Yeah,
just like, why? But no, I freaking loved this movie. I loved
I
it.
yeah I like that it's more drama over action.
Mhm.
Like the couple of action scenes you get to are just like I mean
They're
I
pretty
think I could have
solid.
used they're solid. I think I could have used another one because I think the problem is that like I already saw them all in the trailers, you
Yeah,
know.
the trailer really took away the oomph of the desert one
Yeah.
for
The
sure. I
desert
thought
one
it's
was
a great scene. I
it's
had
a,
seen it before.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I think there needed to be at least like well, I guess I don't know. I guess maybe that point's moot though, because then you have the fight with Sentry in Avengers Tower. That wasn't in
And
the trailers. I like that that one was hidden because I think I think if that wasn't in the movie, the movie definitely would have needed another like not not just action for the sake of action, but like I think it just would have needed another one because it would have been like, oh, we just saw everything in the trailer, which is why I'm glad that that one in Avengers Tower or Watchtower or whatever the hell it's called now is there. And I like that
yeah,
fight too. That fight's awesome.
the Sentry fight was great. As a Winter Soldier fan, I appreciated he used his knife to try to fight him for a second, and he did one of the knife drops.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
I love that his arm gets taken off too.
Yeah. Or John's shield getting turned into a taco.
Yep. Exactly.
Now they did a good job hiding Sentry from the marketing.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, because all you saw in the marketing really was just like the shadow, right?
you saw Bob a
Yeah.
couple times. You saw Sentry's wrist when he pushes Red Guardian. That's the only shot of that fight that was in the trailer. You
Mm,
see a hand push Red Guardian out the window.
mm,
Uh, and then otherwise, yeah, it was just the void floating around. So,
yeah.
which the look of the void was awesome.
Dude, it was great.
So creepy. Just a
It's like,
shadow with little tiny eyes.
it's like imagine somebody being able to do that, just turn you into a shadow.
Yeah, making you relive your worst moment over and over and over and over and over and
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's messed up. Like, but that's what because I was a little nervous because in the comics, um, Void can sometimes be portrayed as like a big monstery thing, and I was kind of like, I don't really want that.
and they didn't do it.
So they went with the more traditional like Shadow Man kind of thing, which I
Yeah,
appreciated.
yeah,
Um, but no, I mean, the only other real criticisms I have of the movie is just, I mean, I'm a massive Bucky fan,
yeah,
so I would have liked to see him a bit have more of an emotional journey, but he did have his own show that already kind of dealt with this trauma.
yeah,
So I get that he's like the most stable of the group, so he's kind of like the backbone, you
yeah.
know? So I was okay with it.
I like the idea too, where it's like, oh, like in that desert chase, like he's actually like helping them like take down like Val's people, and then he goes after them.
Yeah, I love
I like
that.
that. Yeah.
Because they're just
Because he wants them to
cheering.
testify against her, and they're like, "No, we're all on the same side. Like, we gotta
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
like,
I like that scene, him trying to catch up to the rest of the movie.
yeah,
He's like, who the hell's Bob? You know, like that was good. And then
yeah."
he's on the phone, he's like, Bob. And then they're just sitting there, Bob. That was
I
good.
also want to talk about something I haven't really seen talked about all that much: the
Yeah,
musical score for this movie.
yeah,
Because, like, yeah, sure, it's got like some of your big bombastic like superhero moments, but like,
yeah.
especially sitting through the end credits for this movie, like after it gets through like the usual credits, and then it goes to the scrolling credits.
Mhm,
The music for this movie, I love it because it's somber in nature. There's a sense of sadness to it. It
mhm.
captures the tone of the movie so
Yeah,
well.
I like that their heroic theme had like little hints of like the Avengers theme
Yeah,
mixed in. So it's
yeah,
kind of like, especially at the very end, they just kind of play the Avengers theme at the end.
yeah. I
But
did in terms of criticisms though, I after they get out of the void, I do think that that ending was rushed.
I liked that. I liked that it was
Like I have no problem with it being like with us being like, wait, what? Like I like
mhm.
that. I just think getting to that press conference, like immediately after they come out of the void, it's
Oh
like,
yeah, they're like, we're gonna go beat. But she had been saying over and over, the press is downstairs. They're ready for you because she was about to show off Sentry.
yeah,
So I liked that it showed how quick Val is. Like she knows how to pivot.
yeah,
She's like, she keeps pivoting. She's like, this doesn't work. We're gonna do this. This doesn't work. We're gonna do
yeah.
this.
She's
Like
always got a plan D
she
and E.
saves her own ass over and over.
Yeah. I
And
love that moment though where Yelena goes up to her and she's like, "We own you now."
yeah, and I liked that the movie started with Yelena wanting to be more like her sister. She wanted to step maybe more into the spotlight. She wanted to be more of a hero. And
Yeah.
then the end of the movie, she gets that opportunity. Like,
Also, this is a very rewatchable movie. Speaking of like going back and forth in the movie because there's so many details in that opening scene that I never picked. I didn't even pick up on it on a rewatch. I just saw a screenshot of it
no.
on the internet, which the lab that she goes into at the beginning, like if you look in the background, you can see the shadows.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could. I'll look for that in the next because
Yeah,
I knew that
yeah,
was where Bob
yeah.
got experimented on.
You could see the shadows. I didn't pick up on it on either time I saw it.
Hmm.
And like little details like that when you can
Hmm.
make the movie so much more rewatchable. Should we
Yeah,
talk about the post credits scene?
sure.
It
What do you think
definitely
in
was.
general? What do you think in general of the reveal that this was the new Avengers?
That's fine.
Mhm.
I mean, we kind of already knew that. I mean, I don't know
That's
if
how
we.
I felt.
I mean, I don't know if we exactly like knew it, but I think we had like hints that. I mean, because the thing is that they announced. I don't know if it's all the cast, but majority of the cast for Doomsday before this movie was even released. So it's like, and like you saw half of that. That's how we also knew Taskmaster wasn't making it too, because they we
Yeah.
because we saw all of their names like on the
Yeah.
chairs. So it's like
Yeah.
okay, like they're all
She cooked. Yeah, she
yeah,
gone.
yeah. So she's definitely cooked, but it's like okay, so like they're gonna be part of the Avengers and then in Avengers Doomsday. It's like they must have a lot of confidence in the movie if they're already revealing that they're gonna be part of the cast.
Yeah, that they're gonna survive. Because
Yeah.
before those chairs, I thought there was a good chance that like Alexi might die in this movie. And
Mm.
then when they showed David Harbour's name, I'm like,
He's
well, I guess not.
he's gonna be the next one we all think is gonna die. It's gonna be like the Jeremy Renner Hawkeye effect.
I
He's just
think
not gonna die.
I tell you my theory,
What?
my really disturbed, but I think would be really powerful theory.
What?
I think Bucky's toast in either
Doomsday.
Doomsday or Secret Wars, maybe Doomsday.
Hmm.
Um, and I think because he's one of those characters, I think him and Thor are both they're at the end. Like
I think if Thor
Bucky has reached his arc,
I think if
the
Thor
end of his arc.
survives, I think he's gonna do Thor 5 and then call it quits.
Maybe I could see, but they're gonna want emotional hits because that's what people
Yeah.
loved about Endgame and Infinity War. And the
Yeah.
only way, I'm sad to say, they haven't set up a lot of these characters in the
They
overall
haven't.
Marvel well
No,
enough to really hit.
they
The only
haven't.
people that would really hurt if we lost, like the general audience,
Bucky and Thor.
Thor, Bucky, maybe Ant-Man. Like
Ant-Man should have died in Quantumania.
I agree. But I think Bucky's gonna die. This is my twisted idea of how Bucky should die.
Okay.
There are all these rumors that Chris Evans is coming back as an evil Cap or a variant Cap.
You think he's gonna die and then Chris Evans is gonna be Winter Soldier?
No,
Or
no. Chris Evans, evil Cap, kills
oh, is he
Bucky.
gonna kill him?
Yes, because
Wasn't there a run in the comics where Steve Rogers was Hydra?
well, yeah, it was he got
You
like
think
brainwashed. Yeah.
okay, I was gonna
Um,
say you think they'll do that or no?
it could be like a Captain Hydra variant. That would be kind of sick if it was like a Steve that was like raised by Hydra or something.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it would make sense because one of their most famous lines is "I'm with you till the end of the line."
Yeah.
So can you imagine if the Steve we love comes back and the first thing he does is fucking kill Bucky Barnes? And he's like, I'm with you till the end of the line, Buck. And like kills him. The whole theater would be so angry and
It would
scared.
be like the end of Infinity War where everybody's just like, what?
Everybody would be hit so hard because we'd be so happy to see Cap again. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this isn't Cap. Like
Yeah.
the Cap that spent all of Civil War trying to save Bucky is now killing Bucky. That would be like,
Okay. I love it. I really do. But here's the reality of the situation.
yeah,
Since Endgame and everything in between Doomsday, is Stephen McFeely really that smart of a writer?
I don't know.
Now he's been like essentially employed by the Russos forever.
I just think if Bucky's got to go, and I think he will die,
Yeah.
I think he needs to die by Cap's hands. I feel like that would be the most tragic.
Yeah.
The last thing Bucky Barnes sees is Steve Rogers murdering him.
Yeah.
Would be pretty like mind-bendingly awful, but
Yeah.
like in a good way.
Yeah.
I think it would piss a lot of people off, but in the best way.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think Bucky's toast because
I think it would make those people want that variant of Captain America dead even more.
exactly you'd hate him. You'd want to see them whoop his ass.
He'd be what
And
John Walker is for
and
a
it
while.
would lead to a great Sam Wilson versus Cap fight.
What if it was Sam Wilson and John Walker versus Cap?
Sure.
But
I mean,
again, you wouldn't have that emotional connection with John Walker to Steve Rogers, though.
you might now though a
But
little bit.
it could be a redemption thing where it was like I was an
Mhm.
asshole before, but now I'm gonna be
Yeah. Now he's the worst Captain America.
yeah,
I'm even better than that guy. Like that would be like
yeah,
you could, but that's I'm just thinking Bucky's gonna die because he's been through his healing, he's been through his redemption. I love Bucky Barnes. He's like my favorite MCU character.
hmm
But I think if we're really gonna want to hit the audience with emotions, Bucky, yeah, right now he's like the leader of the Thunderbolts. But even then, Yelena kind of is too.
yeah.
So you don't really need Bucky to lead the Thunderbolts. So I could see them killing him in those movies, which should be I'd cry.
I don't know if the Russos have the guts to do it though.
But yeah, as far as the end credits scenes, the one with Red Guardian was fun. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it was a
yeah,
little silly and
it
fun.
explains that whole Wheatie box
Yeah, it
marketing
was
thing.
fun. And but yeah, the one at the very end was like all of a sudden they're all walking out. It's like 14 months later. I'm like, huh? And then they're looking so different. Like, you
Dude,
know,
I thought Ghost was Peggy Carter for a minute.
she did have weird hair. I didn't like her
Yeah,
hair.
I was like, is that Haley Atwell?
But the one that got me was, like I said, big Winter Soldier fan. His suit looks like his outfit that he most recently had in the comics when he was called the Revolution a couple years ago, where he
Mm,
has like that big red star on the other shoulder.
yeah.
I'm like,
Listen,
that is a
John
godly
Walker with
outfit.
the Russian hat.
Yeah, it's like Walker with the military hat, like of course, and his shield is still bent. I'm like, dude, fix your shield. It's been over a year. What are you doing? But then I loved seeing Bob, not doing anything because it's a risk if he does.
Yeah.
Um, I loved all that, and then obviously the Fantastic Four setup was interesting.
Fantastic Four is going to be really interesting of a movie, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Because like,
I hope
is
it's
that
great.
is like that? Well, I mean, obviously that scene in the post credits scene for this movie is obviously leading into Doomsday. But it's
Yeah,
like, how are they going to get? I mean, it's multiverse. You can do whatever the hell you want, I guess. I was
I
like, how are
mean,
they going to get
I
from the '60s
I
to now? But it's the multiverse.
Reed Richards
Yeah,
makes
he's a
some machine,
scientist. Pedro
or
Pascal.
Galactus eats their world and they fall into a black hole. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know, uh, I hope that that end credit scene didn't spoil that like the Fantastic Four like fail.
yeah.
Because like it feels like maybe they failed their universe and
Yeah,
like
because they do say that it's like, oh, it's like a distress signal.
yeah, yep.
So
I don't know.
they don't say it's like they don't act as if it's like, oh, there's like this unidentified object that's coming into orbit and it looks like something different, you know? They
Mhm.
literally say it's a distress signal.
Yeah, it was an interesting way to end that. To tease, but it reminded me of an old school Marvel teaser.
Yeah.
Like it got me excited
It's
for what
one of
comes
those that
next.
we haven't had in a while, where it
Yeah.
feels like the post-credit scenes are actually like moving stuff along.
Yes, which is what was it? The end of Captain Marvel, the post-credit scene was her popping up to meet the Avengers,
Yeah.
like during when the blip was happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like that's hype. Like,
I
okay,
mean,
cool.
I honestly thought that like that post-credit scene of the Marvels with Maria Rambeau in the
Oh,
multiverse
Beast.
with Beast. I thought that
Yeah.
was going to lead somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll lead to Secret or to Doomsday because
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer's in that, but
Yeah.
um
All the X-Men are coming back.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
I'm
for
glad
Patrick
that
Stewart to die again, I bet.
Thunderbolts reinvigorated that feeling that like there is a plan.
Yeah.
They are leading to something.
Yeah.
Because for a while there it was just Harry Styles. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. Where did Shang-Chi and Katie go?
I know. That's a problem I have with the MCU in general in this few phases.
Yeah.
Not only that Moon Knight and Shang-Chi like disappeared,
Yeah.
but also that Sam Wilson, it took 3, 4 years for him to get to
His
be
own movie.
shown as Cap again.
Yeah.
Like not even just that he got his own movie, but like why didn't you tease him a little bit more as like being
That's
around?
that's the thing. They're not teasing like the main characters of the next two Avengers movies all that much.
No, I'm like, why didn't he like why didn't you show an image of him on like TV somewhere even?
Yeah,
Why wasn't he didn't he have a cameo in like Wakanda Forever or something?
he should
Like
have.
like the fact that there's a black Captain America, I feel like would have fit pretty well on like that
Yeah,
storyline. But
yeah, exactly.
um and his like armor's Wakandan.
Yeah,
Um yeah, they just haven't done a great job of that stuff. So I'm
I
like,
think that was all the Shapex stuff though.
oh, I mean, yeah, they were just so much content. Like way too. I remember, and you know me, I'm a huge Marvel guy.
Yeah,
I can keep up pretty well, but even me, what was it, summer like 2022? It was like Doctor Strange, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, like all being thrown at me. I'm like,
dude. That
whoa,
see, that's why I
whoa.
haven't watched like like
I'm
Moon
like,
Knight.
let me digest.
That's why I haven't watched like Moon Knight or
Yeah,
Daredevil or
but
like
watch
I
Moon
watched
Knight. It's so good.
Agatha, but
Watch Moon Knight.
I will.
Oscar
Should I
Isaac's
do that?
so good in
Should I
it.
do that or Daredevil first?
Oh, Moon Knight's quicker, so do that first.
Okay.
Because you
Saw
didn't
the
see the
I saw
you
the
didn't
first
see the
episode.
original. Did you not see the original Daredevil though?
No.
See that? Yeah. So you're talking like 4 seasons of TV.
Yeah, but see, Foggy Nelson dying though still means something to me because he was a mighty duck.
But no, watch Moon Knight. It's only like 6 episodes. It's not perfect, but Oscar Isaac's great.
Oh, Oscar Isaac's great and everything.
No, but he's like really good. He's like that's like one of his best performances. I'd say
Yeah.
he's
You think
real
he's
good.
coming back in Secret Wars as Apocalypse?
I don't know, man. I want them to bring Moon Knight back.
I think
I don't get it.
I
Bring
think
him
he's gonna
back.
come in Secret Wars.
No, I think Moon Knight, if they ever do a Midnight Suns movie or something, then Moon Knight will probably show up.
You
But
think
like,
Ghost Rider's gonna pop up?
dude, Ghost Rider better pop up. They've almost had him in Deadpool. He was almost Nicolas Cage in Deadpool.
Yeah.
They almost got him, but he didn't want to. But I'm like, do it. Because Ghost Rider's a big character. Yeah, they haven't even remotely touched that.
At night, in the presence of evil, the rider takes over. Bring Wes
Yeah,
Bentley back so we can get the contract to San Francisco.
no, we're not bringing back fucking Wes Bentley. um, no, Thunderbolts was great, dude. I gave it 5 stars. It just
I
it
saw
hit
that.
me.
Yeah,
It hit me that hard in the emotions where I
it's
was like,
so good. It is
I'm
really good. Yeah,
like,
it's also interesting too because it kind of plays off as if it's going to be like a one location movie.
at first, they said originally it was considered almost that
Yeah,
they almost did like
because
a
it's
Die
really
Hard.
just the vault and then New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's the thing. You have such great little character
yeah,
interactions.
yeah.
Like, and
Dude,
you kind
them trying to get up the chute
of.
and then Bob has to sneeze.
I loved that so much.
Yeah,
And the fact Bob could have flown the whole time.
I know.
I loved Bob. He was so good.
Do
Louis
any of us
Louis
fly? Is
Pullman.
that all we do is punch and shoot?
Mm, I just I liked. I don't know if Stephen Yeun, as much as I like him, I don't know if he would have brought the
Yeah,
same
is
kind of.
Lewis Pullman had a bit of like a and by design, which I really liked, like a bit of like an awkwardness to him or like a
Yeah, oh for
shyness.
sure.
Yeah,
I think he was very like innocent feeling,
yeah. It seemed
and
like a bit of like shyness. I don't know.
I don't know if Stephen Yeun would have had that same level of
Yeah.
or
Also,
he just feels like is stunted.
Bob and Yelena wedding when?
No way, man. They're like siblings.
Are
She's
they?
like she's like a big sister to him. There's no way. No. I mean I'm still angry that Bucky and Natasha never happened. So
Yeah,
Marvel
Bucky or Natasha and Hulk was a weird one.
it should have been Natasha and Bucky, like in the comics. But
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe he would
Natasha and
if
Hulk.
that had happened, Bucky would have had so much shared trauma with Yelena in this movie.
Maybe. Maybe.
Just throwing opportunities out the window because you don't want romance.
I'm writing my own fanfic. How dare you?
Uh,
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I left this movie feeling good, feeling
Yeah.
hopeful,
Yeah.
feeling emotionally, impacted.
I think it'll say something. Even with Brave New World mixed in, like where people didn't really like Brave New World, it wasn't that well received. The fact that you have like Deadpool and Wolverine, Thunderbolts, potentially Fantastic Four. leading into the Avengers movies, I think that'll actually help Doomsday and Secret Wars because people will be like, oh, like three of the last four have been good.
Yeah,
So
yeah, hopefully.
yeah,
Fingers crossed for Fantastic Four.
yeah.
It's tough because no movie has ever gotten them right so far.
Which is yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm praying this one actually succeeds
It's
because like
crazy, man. Yeah.
if this doesn't do well at handling them, Fantastic Four is done.
Prediction, it's gonna blow Superman out of the water. Superman is
Think
dead on
so?
arrival, I think.
You
Because
think so?
think about it. It comes out the week after Jurassic World and everybody loves dinosaurs, so no matter the quality, they're all gonna go see it.
I keep forgetting that movie's even coming out.
Yeah. So they're
That
all
looks
gonna go
such
because
a boring
yeah,
Jurassic
they're
movie.
all gonna go see it.
Yeah,
Superman, I think it'll be front loaded because a lot of people are gonna want to see the new Superman, but then you also have that corner of the internet that's like boycott it because it's not Zack
sure,
Snyder. And then,
sure.
but like when you think about it, Superman only has essentially 2 weeks to make money because
Yeah.
Fantastic Four comes out A, the weekend of San Diego Comic Con, B, 2 weeks after Superman. Like Superman's kind of screwed, I think.
But if Superman ends up being really, really good, I
Yeah.
think word of mouth will be
But even
crazy.
then, if it's good though, we've seen some really good movies in big franchises like this that are like really good.
Yeah.
Furiosa that didn't
I
make
think
any money.
Superman's also might struggle a little bit because I do think a lot of general audience members just don't really care about Superman.
Yeah.
Casey isn't a very big Superman fan because she's kind of like she liked him in Smallville, you
Yeah.
know. But like as far as the character in general, she's kind of like there's just so much
Speaking
Superman.
of
Like,
DC, don't tell Tim not to get mad at me, but
dude, he keeps trying to fight me already. I'm like, save it for Alex's channel, right? Save it for Alex's channel. I'm gonna whoop his ass. But it's funny because Casey likes Batman Returns better too.
I don't know what it was. Last time I just watched Batman, I was like, this is more of like a Joker movie than it is a Batman movie.
I mean, same with Returns, but at least with that,
Returns is more fun though, I
I
think.
think Returns is more fun and it's got more interesting things.
Yeah.
I think Batman 89, it's cool, but I think it's a lot of just really relying on Jack Nicholson. Like
And
really.
honestly, like people say Returns is more of the Burton feeling movie. I'm like, yeah, but 89 is kind of some
I,
Burton stuff in
I
there.
got into an argument with Tim because he was saying, "Oh, Returns is just so dark," and I went, "You don't think Batman '89 is dark?"
Dude,
I'm
the
like,
scene
"Dude,
where he literally has like his face like transformed,
that
you
scene."
see it
But
in the shadows.
I said to Tim, I said, "Which movie has the bad guy facially scar his girlfriend and then she commits suicide?"
Yeah.
That's 1989.
Yeah.
That is not Batman Returns. That's dark shit.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
movie has news reporters dying on camera with smiles on their faces? That's 1989.
Smilex, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, Batman can be dark. It should be dark. And frankly, the movie with penguins with rockets is not as dark as the other one.
Round up all the firstborns.
Because Batman Returns is like this like funness about it.
Yeah,
Wait, are we still recording?
we are.
Is this the Thunderbolts review? I loved Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was great.
Now we're gonna stop so we can talk about Batman.
Yeah, yeah. I love Thunderbolts. Go see it. Go help its box office.
Yeah,
I loved
please.
it. I
Yeah.
loved it.
All right.
5 stars. Can't wait to see these characters again. Find me on Agamotto's my YouTube channel. Thunderbolts! We are the Thunderbolts! New
You
Avengers,
can't say
baby.
that.
New Avengers.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you soon.